Hello guys! As usual, I want to accompany your time with a series of film storylines. Storyline of film that you will be watching is titled Escape Room Tournament of Champions 2021. Escape Room Tournament of Champions 2021 is the sequel to Escape Room 2019, directed by Adam Brabitel. After successfully winning the game in the first sequel in 2019, Zoe and Ben try to demand justice for the players who were killed. Zoe and Ben originally wanted to bring the game creator company Minos to justice because the game was very dangerous for the people who follow it. And so they go on and journey and the movie begins. Oh yes, before continuing with the video storyline, I want to remind you to click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the latest videos from us. In the first scenes of the film, we see a woman and small child. That woman is Minos' wife, while the little girl is daughter named Claire. Long story short, crazy things happened. Minos' wife was also caught in a crazy game where the culprit was her own husband. She was locked up in a very hot room temperature. To get out of there, the woman must find a magnetic stone, but after almost surviving, the woman died because her body was burned with the head in the room. Time passed, and long story short, Zoe and Ben were ready to go to Minos, were waiting for the plane to depart. But the departure using the plane was cancelled because Zoe had panicked and they decided to travel by using a rented car. When they arrived at a place that was suspected to be Minos' headquarters, there they didn't find anything. Then a man came to steal Zoe's valuables. They also ran after the pickpocket, and until finally they were trapped in the train while the pickpocket managed to escape. Inside the train, they meet other participants who have participated in and won the Minos game before, but in different place. And they also know that their meeting is part of the Minos scenario, which deliberately unites them in his new crazy game. And at this moment, they must face a much more dangerous game. They must work together in order to survive. The crazy game began. The train they were riding only consisted of 6 people and no other passengers. Because this was already part of Minos' strategy, which had ambitions to kill the life of the previous game winners. Long story short, the train carriage also contained electric currents, which if they hit iron or the like, they will be electrocuted. They also found an iron handle that did not know what its function was, and then they all found out what the iron handle meant. Then the man in the white shirt used the handle to open the door, and what happens was they found a series of codes to fill in. Then Zoe also put the C coin into the token, and that means they need 8 more token coins so they can survive the electric shock. The token coin found next is E, meaning that it requires 7 more token coins. Then they all spread out, pulling the hanger to look for the next token coins. Coins A and M tokens were also found, requiring 5 more token codes. Long story short, when the code is 3 tokens left, the condition of the carriage gets worse where many electric shock are shock, which makes them all have to lie down so they don't get electrocuted. When the man in the white shirt finds clues to the next series of codes, he is electrocuted to death, and the series of codes he just found are scorched and there are no 5 people left. Because of Zoe's intelligence, 2 token codes have been found, and that means only 1 more token codes so they can survive. And luckily, they found all the token codes and the emergency door opened. They went out one by one through the door. Long story short, in the elevator, the 5 of them began to introduce themselves. The remaining ones were Zoe, Ben, Brianna, Nate, Rahel. They all shared their experiences and previous crazy games they've played before. This conversation passed, then they got off of the elevator and they arrived at a bank with its safe already open. Not long after, but again, the tense situation began. Brianna was almost torn apart by the green laser that came out from the trap tiles she stepped on. But luckily, Rahel quickly helped her, and Brianna survived. Then they all have to look for a series of clues in order to get to the open safe, because the next way out is through the safe. But the problem is, the tiles have trap tiles which if you step on the wrong one, the laser will come out and can cut their bodies. In addition, the time to the safe was also given a limit, so they had to quickly find clues to get there. When the time limit runs out, the entire room will be filled with lasers. Long story short, they all managed to get out of the safe rooms safely. The 5 of them have now moved place. They arrived at an offshore that looked suspicious. Then Brianna found a camera and she took a picture of the beach. And what happened next was the atmosphere of the beach turned into an unreal toy beach. Then they all looked for clues about this riddle, and without them knowing, the camera that was found by Brianna was sucked in by the beach sand. But since they had all played in this game before, they were already quite skilled at finding clues even though they looked complicated. Now they also found a clue where they dug a sand, and finally they found an answer. And the tense situation began again. The sand that had been dead seemed to be living sand that shocked Rahel, but Nate helped her out of there. And unfortunately, Nate was actually stuck in by the sand. Rahel and Ben chose the door that Zoe found, but not with Brianna. Brianna was finally left in the kitchen, and finally she chose the door out of the refrigerator. But unlucky, Ben, who had almost arrived at the top of the tower, instead crashed and buried in the sand. Now they are separated, Zoe with Rahel and Brianna alone. Long story short, Zoe and Rahel are happy to find a way out. However, Brianna comes along and states that in fact we are still in the game. And now the 3 of them have met again. In the illusion room, the 3 of them are given 30 seconds. If the time runs out, then acid rain will fall. And if it hits the skin, it is very hot and can burn the skin. The 3 of them then look for the key to find a way out to safety. Finally, Brianna found the key, and finally they were all able to unlock the gate and acid rain fell. Their next task now is to collect acid rain water to destroy the lock phone lock. Then acid rain falls, and long story short, the taxi door opens and can only be entered by one person, namely Zoe. Then Rahel and Brianna finally gave up because they couldn't get into the taxi, and the phone door was closed. They deliberately let themselves die in acid rain. Claire also explained to Zoe that the game challenges she had passed were related to her mother, and it's really surprising. Ben, who had been buried in the sand, was still alive, and the one who saved him was Claire. But not long after, Mina's men found Ben's whereabouts, and then Ben was brought into the game room. Long story short, Zoe and Claire also worked together to solve the jigsaw puzzle, and then they both succeeded, and finally Claire was able to get out of the cage made by her father. The tense action began when Claire got off of the cage. Then her father, who was the mastermind of Minos, came over to Claire and almost shot her. But fortunately, his men quickly shot the Minos boss, and now the Minos boss is trapped in Claire's former room. The funny and adorable action was shown by Minos' men, who turned out to be quite angry with the boss, then raised their middle finger. Then Claire and Zoe rushed to save Ben. Claire also managed to save Ben through the control center, and Claire asked Zoe to immediately pick up Ben. In addition, Claire reported to the police to arrest her father and his men. Zoe goes to pick up Ben, and at the end of this story, Claire kills her father and the film ends. Enough of the storyline of the film Escape Room Tournament of Champions 2021. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment for other movie recommendations, okay? See you on the next film storyline. Bye!